Hey, welcome back, fishies. It's another Teach It Tuesday, and today it's going to be kind of a short Teach It Tuesday in the actual teaching you what I'm going to teach you, but we're going to have a little discussion at the same time. And today, what we're doing is we are installing a steering wheel knob. And of course, you're going to need your ratchet and socket and an open end wrench. Now, each one differs. You know, this one takes a 9/16. And of course, for those that don't know what a steering wheel knob is, it is to assist in steering the vehicle. Now, some states, it's not legal to have one, so you might want to check that before you go installing one. And depending on, what kind of vehicle you have, I think a lot of truckers use these, or used to. Racers like to use them. Me personally, like in this old truck, it's an 84 Chevy Custom Deluxe. It just makes it easier to steer. I had one in my 82 S10, and I was absolutely in love with it. It wasn't as nice as this one. But what you want to do is, depending on how much room you have, which with the traditional bench seat, I'm not that far. But what I'm going to do is see where I like it. Do I want it sitting on the outside, or would I rather have it on the inside? And since putting it on the outside would probably make it hit my leg as I turn, I'm going to have it on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the little boot that protects the steering wheel around there. Then I'm just going to clamp it on here. And typically, this is about the angle you want it. Make sure your wheel's straight, which I believe my wheels are as straight as they're going to get. Actually, I need to check that as well. Okay. My wheels are straight, so this is as straight as the steering wheel is going to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my little washer on first, locking washer on next, and then I'm going to squeeze it so I can get the nut put on. And then I'm going to get it about hand tight. Then I'm going to take my open end and I'm going to stick it here. Socket, wrench, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I've already got it set to tight. And then I'm just going to snug it tight. And of course, you can always try a, steering wheel knob. I mean, they're typically called a suicide knob. And I don't particularly like that term, because, I think I'm not 100% on this, but I'm pretty sure it derived from racers using them to make hairpin turns and sometimes it was suicide. You know, they ended up dying from it. That's good and secure. Of course, wish I'd have. There we go. That's a little better. Now I'll start the truck up. Hopefully she'll start first shot. Come on, Lily. Atta girl. And that's how you use it. So, and of course, something funny about the old trucks, and it'd been a while since I had heard the horn of one, but uh-oh. Well, that's interesting. My horn's not working now. Huh. Interesting. We may have to see if we can pop the hood and figure out what's going on there. Let's go take a look. Because need a horn. Right there's the horn. See if I can get my finger in there. Make sure it's plugged in good. Which it's not. Okay. Quickest way in. Okay, we're gonna pop the hood. Find my pliers. And need this. So maybe we're not going to have the little discussion. I mean, I guess we could. Let me find a place to set the camera that hopefully it won't fall off. Of course, I'm just going to take the headlight valley off instead of going through the headache of taking the entire grill off. Because, trust and believe, that's not fun. Like, at all. I do not recommend it. It is definitely mechanic made a bit of a mess under my hood. I have oil everywhere. It was like, I have to get that cleaned up. Hopefully this loose wire is all the horn is. But the discussion I was going to have until this event was Facebook Marketplace etiquette. Now, all of us at some point sell stuff on Facebook Marketplace. You know, one, you know what you have. You know what the value of it is. If it's used, which most people are going to consider it used, even if it's still in the box and you've never used it. But you have to price accordingly if you want to sell it. And what I mean by that, well, maybe I'm going to have to take this off. What I mean by that is, like, right now I have some four-wheeler parts for sale. And I have checked, and I mean, all together, you know, wiring harness, fuel tank, and a motor, $150. Well, you know, the motor obviously doesn't run. It doesn't have the carburetor. It's, you know, missing a few parts on the external part of it. So I can't sell it for what a new one would cost. You know, I can't even sell it for a complete used price. So, $50. Pretty reasonable. You know, it's a lot cheaper than what you're going to find out there. But how you price it is you look up what a brand new one would cost, and then you look at what used ones typically cost. And this gives you a better idea of how to price what you have. Okay, that's on. Let's see if the horn works. Uh-oh. That didn't fix it. Well, let's hope it's a fuse issue. If it's a fuse issue, you know, that's an easy fix. But back to the subject at hand, okay? Pricing. You know, you check your brand new price, then your used price, and you try and hit it somewhere in a reasonable range, cheaper than both, if possible. And of course, using Messenger, you know, with Marketplace, you never ever want to give out your phone number. You want everything in text. That way everything's crystal clear as to what's what. That way you've got documentation of the conversation. The buyer has evidence of the communication. It's a win-win scenario. And don't let people, you know, try and bully you into selling it for cheaper. You know, they say, you know, oh, I can find that cheaper. You know, if you can get a screenshot of, you know, how much, you know, the new version of it's going to cost. There's a lot of traffic this evening. You know, show them the new and used prices if possible. You know, people are always trying to get something for nothing. You know, everybody knows that. You know, we even do it. You know, it's just nature. You know, nobody wants to pay full price for something. You know, and they don't want to get ripped off. You know, that's just the way of the world. The last car? Hopefully that's the last car for a while. Because I know it's windy already, so don't need to added noise of traffic going by, interrupting. But nobody wants to get ripped off, you know. And always meet in a public place. You know, I typically use Walmart parking lot because, you know, it's very public, very busy. You know, if something happens, somebody's going to notice. And of course, you know, another thing to remember is don't let them have, you know, always only accept cash. Make sure your post says cash only, must pick up. I mean, that's just a given. Let's go check, see about our fuse here, because no horn. And I know I had horn just the other day. Let's see. Horn button. Fuse is fine. Ignition. Sorry, I'm trying to find my fuse for... there we go. That should be the tag. Fuse. Yep, it's intact. So that definitely means the tag light's out. Of course, the question now becomes, what's wrong with the horn? And I'm really not wanting to have to take that steering wheel off, because that is a major pain. Well. That just bites. The only thing I can think is the wire came off. Well, since I've checked all the fuses, I'm just going to check to see if the tag light comes on. It does not. Oh, come on. Sometimes it can be as simple as short. Ooh. This one is a single wire, and the new one is a dual wire. Oh boy. Fun. Well, boys and girls, that's definitely a predicament. And back to the horn situation. I'm just not exactly sure what to do about that. It had a horn the last time I drove it. Of course, I've had an issue with it a few times. Well, that's going to be a problem for future Doc. Most definitely. Still got to put center caps on her. I've got the originals. Now, they're not the center caps that actually go to those wheels, but I mean, they do work. But here's the thing, you know, when dealing with people on Facebook Marketplace, you know, be safe about it. You know, everybody knows that, you know, there are crooked people in the world that, you know, they just want to take advantage of you. Boy, it's hard to adjust this in the... Hey, I think I got it. Okay. So, you know, you've always got to be safe on Marketplace, and, you know, like I had said, meet in a public place, you know, don't give out personal information. Make sure you have cash in hand before you hand off whatever it is you're selling. You know, especially if it's a small item, because here in my hometown, Chickasha, more than once somebody has, you know, snatched and run. You know, they grab the item, you know, saying they're going to look at it, and they take off and never give the person the money. And I mean, it's sad that society has people like that in it. It really is. But, you know, that's the way of the world, unfortunately. But, you know, as long as you're smart about it, use your head, you know, play it safe, you know, take somebody with you if you can, you know, a friend, a family member, you know, somebody, you know, and don't meet after dark. Even in a Walmart parking lot, don't do it. Do it during daylight. I mean, that's the safer option. It really is. You know what the pieces, you know, whatever you're selling is worth. You know, price it reasonably. You know, somebody tries to Jew you down, don't be a prick about it. You know, be reasonable. You know, take reasonable offers. You know, it's just like, you know, guy today hit me up about the gas tank. You know, told him, yep, $50. You know, 3 items at $150 altogether. Obviously, it's going to be $50 a piece. Haven't heard anything else from him. And that's okay. You know, obviously he thinks he can get it somewhere else cheaper, but trust and believe, this gas tank, no, you're not going to get it for cheaper than $50. Especially not in good condition. And this one is. It needs to be cleaned up on the outside. You know, maybe run a little treatment on the inside, you know, just to make sure that, you know, you clean everything out and whatnot. But, you know, doesn't want to pay that price? Okay, fine. No problem. Somebody else will. And granted, I've had the post up for months now. And that's okay. I'm not worried about it. You know, it's not like I absolutely have to have the money right now. I mean, it'd be great, but it's okay. You know what your items are worth, know what you're selling them for is a reasonable price. You know, be safe about meetups. You know, do not give out your phone number on Messenger, you know, address, nothing like that. Because, I mean, it's common sense. But I know some people, you know, really don't think about stuff like that. So I'm making sure that I let you know ahead of time. And, I mean, that's just how it is. You know, be safe about what you do online. You know what things are worth. Know what you got. Sell it if you can. I mean, if it's something still brand new in the box, never been opened, never been used, you have picture proof of that, you're not going to get brand new price. You got to understand that. It's not going to happen. However, you drop the price by $15-$20 off of the brand new price, chances are you're probably going to get it. Granted, there's going to be people trying to talk you down. Oh, come on, would you take this much? And I mean, if it's a reasonable offer, go ahead and take it. Because, you may not get that much of a reasonable offer again. And I mean, that's whether it's still brand new in the box or, it's been used maybe 1 or 2 times. You got to understand your pricing. I mean, it's just like, the piggy banks that I've made. I factor in cost of material plus time, because time is money. Time is money. And, I factor in a little profit. I sell them for about $25 to $30, depending on the piece. Did it cost that much to make it? No. But it takes time. I mean, if you watched the Make It Monday where I did the paint pour piggy bank, it took about 30 minutes, just to get it covered. Okay. And it took 2 days for it to, 2 or 3 days for it to completely dry. And I've still got to cut around the lid and put the hole in it for the change to go through, and that takes more time. So, altogether, I'll have probably, let's just call it 3 days and 30 minutes worth of time in it. The materials, bottle of, little bottle of paint, the pouring medium, the glitter, you take all that and you charge the price of the materials. It doesn't matter if, and I mean, you could do it in a manner of taking, seeing, how many projects you can get out of the materials you bought just for that one. And then divide it, divide it by, how many projects you're able to get out of it. And then figure out what your time's worth. And folks, your time is precious. You never know when it's going to end. And that's something you got to keep in mind. Every second is precious. Because you never know what the next second's going to bring. Much less the next day or the next week. So, time is money. Make it worth it. I mean, to each their own. I mean, the way I do it, I figure up the cost of the materials that I bought for that project, and I take that price plus the price of my time, and that's how much I'm selling the piece for. And that's generally what people in the art world do, And it doesn't matter, if you're knitting a beanie, coat, whatever, you know, time is money. I mean, mechanics charge, well, around here, they generally charge about $95 an hour. And if it doesn't take a full hour, you're still getting charged that $95. Some of them will work with you and, give you a little bit of a, discount on it. But 90% of them, they're going to charge you for that full hour, even if the job only took 30 minutes. They're charging you for that hour because they have to make their money. Their time is money. And they're serious about it. But, that's just, that's stuff to keep in mind, folks. I mean, this horn button situation, the tag light, I really don't want to deal with either one. I mean, I spent a year and a half trying to get this truck back up and going. And I mean, I'm to the point I'm tired of turning wrenches on it. I mean, I love this truck, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love this truck. And original numbers matching, well, I've still got the original motor. It's sitting in the workshop area, dismantled, ready to be rebuilt. But, it's numbers matching truck. Original 1984 Custom Deluxe 10. And this old girl is worth some money. No cancer in the body, nothing. If I was to sell her, right now, $25,000. And I say that because, I've got quite a bit of money dropped in her. I mean, she only cost me $800, but I have put in the time, I have put in the blood, sweat, and tears, and I've put in the money. It was $2,100 to rebuild the transmission. I think it was right at $3,000 for the motor, and that's a crate motor from O'Reilly's, 305. Cost another $6,000 at the mechanic to get everything lined out to where she was running perfect. Well, actually, let's rewind a second. Basically, $6,200 because there's 2 extra issues that had to go back and get taken care of. And now I've got the horn, which they initially fixed, and I had to redo it because it wanted to stay on. Not a good situation. And of course, now it's back to not working at all. So, and I really don't want to have to take the steering wheel off again. Of course, like I said, that's going to be a problem for another day. I'm hoping it's just a loose wire. But back on topic, all together with all the original parts that I have replaced on this truck, fuel tank, radiator, fuel pump, alternator, batteries, this recent trip to the mechanic ended up being an oil pan. Crate motor, and the oil pan was warped. So it started leaking. Really? So, and that was almost $900, just for him to do the oil pan. I mean, I've literally got roughly $10,000 into this truck. All that is left after get the mechanical issues 100%, and that's including the horn and the tag light straightened out, interior, which, I mean, honestly, interior is not bad. I mean, yeah, it needs a new dash, because previous owner did the best they could to, cover it up. I'd like to see, the bucket bench seats in it. I mean, door skins are good. I'd like to put, roof liner in it and an actual dome light instead of my Southern Ingenuity, which obviously I need to replace the batteries in that now. I mean, overall the truck's in good shape. It's well worth the money that I would have to get out of it. I mean, it is what it is. I've put the time, the money, the effort into it. Other than interior, I'd like to get it repainted. I mean, you've seen the paint. It's not that bad, but it does have a lot of scratches. And whoever painted it, before the guy that I buy it off of bought it, obviously, they painted it in a barn, and, they did an okay job. I mean, at a distance, it's hard to notice. But, there's probably about another $3,000 to $4,000 worth of work. And I mean, at auction, a truck like this, I've seen them roll through Barrett-Jackson completely done and go for about $40,000. And Mom thought I was crazy. She still does, to a degree, but, she has seen, what they've gone for on Barrett-Jackson and knows that, okay, it could possibly be worth that much. And yeah, to sell it right now as is, $25,000, because I've got to have enough to get another truck. I love this truck, but I'm to the point I'm tired of turning wrenches on it myself, and I really don't have the money to have somebody else turn the wrenches. So, it's definitely one of those situations. Pick the lesser of two evils. I mean, and what a person has to realize is, they spend $25,000 on this truck. If they know their way around body work, know where they can get parts cheaper than I could, they drop maybe another $2,000 into it. That's a total of $2,700 or $27,000. Then they turn around and they can offer it for $35,000, and they can get it, because these whole square bodies, this good a shape, no cancer, no holes in the panels, I mean, it's a straight truck. It's got, the motor currently has less than 500 miles on it, because, I can't seem to get things lined out long enough to actually put the mileage on it to break it in properly. We're getting there. But, fact of the matter remains, and it is what it is. That's what it would take to buy this gorgeous, gorgeous truck. And you can call me crazy. I don't care. Doesn't bother me a bit. I'm used to being called crazy. I'm called a lot of things. I'm not worried about it. I mean, I know what I've got. And, if you're selling something, know what you have. Know what it's worth. Know what your time and effort is worth. And that's it. I mean, you've heard her run. She's a good running truck. She just needs some TLC, Tender love and care. But that's going to wrap it up for our Teach It Tuesday, because we're about to hit the 40-minute mark, and it's actually a lot longer than what I had anticipated on going. And, I know y'all don't really care for the long-winded drawn out videos, and that's fine. Until next time, much love. Rock on. Have a blessed week, everybody. Be safe. Until next time, peace out, y'all. Have a good one.